It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Eagle Communications.
Hello again, and welcome to another edition of Tiger Talk. This is Gerard and we'll be joined momentarily by head women's basketball coach Tony Hobson and men's coach Mark Johnson. Both teams coming off sweeps this weekend, knocking off Central Oklahoma on Thursday and then Northeastern State on Saturday. The ladies have now won 15 in a row, which is the second longest winning streak in program history. They sit at 16-1. And of course, the Tiger men losing Craig Nicholson to the year to a severe leg injury on Thursday night, but bounced back to get that win and then beat Northeastern State. So we'll talk all about that with head coach Mark Johnson. Program brought to you once again by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. We'll take our first break. Head women's coach Tony Hobson joins us right after this on Tiger Talk. Hi, I'm Gerard Walbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, inviting you to join me for Tiger Talk. Airs Monday nights from 6 until 6:30 on Tiger Radio Mix 103, and then the video replay on Eagle Cable Channel 14 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Preview the last game and look ahead to the next week's action on Tiger Talk. Monday night, 6 till 6:30 on Tiger Radio Mix 103 and on Eagle Cable Channel 14. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, head women's coach Tony Hobson. The program brought to you again by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine in Hays. Two nice wins for the ladies. They beat Central Oklahoma on Thursday and then bounced back to knock off Northeastern State Saturday afternoon. I guess we'll start with Thursday. A Bronco team, and we talked on the program last week, probably the biggest surprise in the MIAA. They were just a game behind you in the standings coming into Thursday night's game and could certainly see why. You got off to a good start. They battled back, took a brief lead in that second half, but boy, your team really showed some resolve and finished the game strong, and I guess that's when you want to be playing your best at the end, and it propelled them to a nice win.
Well, they have a very explosive offensive team and a lot of scoring options. They have a nice addition in the post from last year, and she gave us some trouble and played a good game. So they're a team where you just can't let up, and I don't know if we did that, but they certainly had a nice run the second half to take the lead, and as has been the case so far, we've been able to kind of withstand the runs and then make one of our own, and ours usually comes last, or it has so far, and we end up on top. But it was a tough ball game, and we expected that, and just glad to get through it. And
I guess both games, it was kind of a difficult matchup in a sense. There was some foul trouble, obviously, for Kate, and their post player had a little bit, but she really didn't play in the second half when Kate was in there, and then when you pulled Kate out, she came in. So it was kind of a chess match, if you will, in that second half to determine whose style is going to take hold in that ball game.
Well, it was, and they posed us a problem when they set the high ball screen, and then they flare out the girl that Kate is guarding to the three-point line, and boy, if they're hitting those, it poses a problem, because it's hard to ask a 6'4" kid to go defend the three-point line while you're trying to still block shots in the lane, and we're going to have to figure something out, because that's what a lot of people are going to do. If their five man's able to shoot threes, they're going to set a lot of pick and pops and things like that. So you're exactly right. When we had Kate out of the game and had Ellie Stein in, that made a real tough matchup for her, because they would go big in the post and take it inside. So, it was kind of a chess match, and it just depended on personnel, how people were playing, and luckily we were able to withstand that and guard well enough to win the game.
Tigers get the big victory, then come right back and play Northeastern State on Saturday. And I know we talked last week as well, a difficult matchup. They don't really have a true post presence. They like to play out on the perimeter, and boy, when they're hitting shots, they can be a loadful, as you found out at their place, and just their deliberate nature of style offensively. But I thought your team really handled that well, and for the most part, a pretty solid performance from the very beginning.
Well, I was pleased with Saturday's game, really from start to finish. We did have one area of concern. I thought we were not good in transition. We got into transition. We were pushing the ball. We were playing hard, But as far as converting it into points, I thought we were awful. We've got to really take advantage of that, because we're looking at 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s, and even a 2-on-2 in the open court, you usually can get a pretty good shot. But when we made a good pass, we missed the shots. We also had a number of times where we didn't make a good pass and turned it over. And then our shot selection wasn't great. We took a couple threes out of transition, which, you know, unless you've hit a couple in a row or something, probably not the best idea. So that was the only real area of concern. Otherwise, I thought we were very patient, and you have to be against that team because they will just grind you out and try to score on you in the last 4 or 5 seconds when you relax.
Yeah, and that's not always easy to do. I mean, it's tough to keep that concentration. I thought your team did a good job and kind of forced them into some difficult shots late in the shot clock, which is where they really thrive.
Well, we were lucky the first half. I mean, we had a 7 or 8 minute stretch in there where they didn't score, and in that 7 or 8 minute stretch, I think there was they missed several open shots. Maybe not by their best 3-point shooters, but still you would expect them to make 1 or 2 of those. So the mistakes we did make, which weren't too many. I mean, we didn't mess it up that much. But when we did, they seemed to not capitalize on it, and we were able to build a nice lead that first half.
Tigers get the victory as they move to 16-1. They're 9-0 and sit atop the MIAA. They'll get a break from a conference play Thursday night, taking on the Hard Rockers from South Dakota Mines, and then a obvious big game on Saturday. Pittsburgh State comes to town. We'll talk about that and more when we continue on the program. It's brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine in Hayes. Back with more Tiger Talk right after this.
Eagle Mission Control, this is the Jetson family, 2235 Central.
Yeah, copy that, Jetsons. What's your situation, over?
Santa brought lots of new Wi-Fi gadgets last night. Are we a go or no-go on our internet speed?
Looks like you have our Turbo 15 meg speed. You are a go for streaming and surfing on multiple Wi-Fi devices.
Boost your Eagle internet speed with the next level upgrade today for a successful takeoff for your streaming devices. Call Eagle at 877-61-EAGLE.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, head women's basketball coach Tony Hobson. The Lady Tigers taking on South Dakota School of Mines on Thursday night, final non-conference game, and then Saturday afternoon, a big one with the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. And before we get into the ball games, I want to ask you about Chelsea Mason. She's played, seems more consistent this year with her shot. And we saw it on Saturday, hit a few threes, then kind of struggled a bit and then didn't force it. She seems to be making better decisions when to shoot the three, when to not shoot the three, but she's really improved her game this year, which has helped your team obviously so far this season.
I thought she was sharper Saturday probably than she has been yet this year. Her shot selection has improved for us, and I think that's the key with her. I think in the past, when she would be guarded on the three-point line, her answer to getting an open shot was just to back up and then back up again. And unless you're just really feeling it, that doesn't work all the time. So I thought the other day she was fine from the three-point line, hit a couple from there, but when they came out to then contest it, instead of just looking for something from a deeper range, she took it to the basket and was very sharp, and you know, she has as good a pull-up as I've seen really in the women's game. It's quick and she can get it off in most cases, and she took advantage of that. So she has definitely tightened up her game, I think, defensively much better, and just playing well for us.
Well, Tigers certainly going to need that from here on out. The schedule certainly is very challenging the remainder of the way, and get your final non-conference game on Thursday, South Dakota Mines. It's tough to get a gauge on them. They don't have a lot of wins, but they're playing an independent schedule until they get in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference next year. That means a lot of road games, but still you got to come out and play well to beat a team like that.
Well, I think they're 7-10, 8-10 right now, but like you said, they're playing about 70% of their games on the road, and that's why they've came down here the last 3 years, because they're transferring from NAIA to Division II. they struggle to get a schedule, so they're playing games on the West Coast. They come down here and play us in Kearney, and so they're playing most of their road games a long ways away. So it's hard to gauge a team, like you said. One thing they do pose another problem is that all of their starters shoot three-pointers, and they have a 6'1" girl that is a 40% three-point shooter and a 6-foot kid that's 38. So again, it's going to pose us a few matchup problems on the perimeter, but we'll just have to see what we can do with them.
And probably the challenge still stay focused on that game and not peek ahead to Pittsburgh State. Obviously, one of the marquee games in the MIAA this year. The Gorillas very good, top 5 again nationally, and that'll be a big one after you get through Thursday and then play them on Saturday.
Well, we do have to just focus on Thursday's game first, because don't want to look ahead too far. You have Pitt, Emporia, Washburn coming up in the following 8 days. So, of course, those will be big games. They always are. Maybe more so this year because we have the edge on them right now as far as in the standings. So we just have to concentrate and play the best we can and see what happens.
All right. Should be a very fun week of basketball. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Have a good week of practice, and we'll see you on Thursday night at the Coliseum.
Okay. Thanks, Gerard.
That is head coach Tony Hobson. Again, the Lady Tigers in action on Thursday, 5:30 with South Dakota School of Mines, and then a 2 o'clock tip Saturday afternoon at the Coliseum with Pittsburgh State. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some men's basketball as head coach Mark Johnson joins us right after the break here on Tiger Talk.
Imagine powering all of your Wi-Fi devices seamlessly with Eagle Fusion. Your laptop, gaming system, and other electronics connect to Eagle's internet. Call 877-61-EAGLE to get Fusion for only $5 per month.
Imagine your favorite TV show following you through the house. With Eagle Fusion, you can stop your favorite program in one room and start up in another without missing any of it. Get Eagle Fusion for only $5 per month by calling 877-61-EAGLE today.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, presented by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hayes, where the fire's always burning. We shift gears now and bring in head men's basketball coach Mark Johnson. 2 big wins for the Tigers, Central Oklahoma on Thursday and then Northeastern State on Saturday, but obviously an interesting week and kind of a rough week. Craig Nicholson, the All-American point guard, goes down early in the second half on Thursday. Just a tough break, obviously, for him and for the team and for the program. Such a good guy and really the heart and soul right now, and really kind of thoughts go to him instead of basketball for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have his surgery this week, so I think, we're concerned about him. That's the thing, these guys, you only get four years. You only have basically 120-something games in your career, and you hate for it when they lose a big portion of it here. He's going to miss half a season, and, these guys work too hard for it. It's too important for them at this time in their lives to play college basketball, and to see, like I said, to see it taken away from someone is tough. And I think the severity of the injury as it happened was a pretty emotional toll on everybody in our team. I thought our guys did a good job of obviously trying to find a way to win the Central Oklahoma game, but even bouncing back 48 hours later and beating Northeastern. So, we're going to be a different team as we go forward, and we just got to play to our strengths and find those strengths and how we need to play a little bit. We're going to have to make some adjustments, but move forward without him. And at the same time, I know our guys are very concerned about him, and this has probably been it affects everybody involved, not just Craig, and I think everybody's thinking of him, obviously.
One thing about him, he's tough, and we've seen that on the floor, and I think that probably will carry over in his healing, mending process and then his rehab process to get back. So certainly not going to count him out. If anyone's going to come back from something like that, Craig Nicholson will.
Yeah, no question. Like I said, he's a hard worker. Whatever he needs to do and the rehab he needs to do, he's going to do it to his fullest and try to get back as quickly as he can. So, again, we're wishing the best for him, and I know we're counting on big things for him next year as he comes into his senior year, and then he's going to be, the focal point of our team again, when he gets back and healthy.
And kind of lost with the way the injury occurred and the severity of it all. That was a big win against Central Oklahoma, and the way you did it, you had a lead. I think you got it up to 10 shortly after Craig left. They came back, took the lead, and then you closed it strong at a 9-2 run to win it. That was maybe the biggest win of the season up to that point.
Yeah, I think so. You look at Central Oklahoma going into that game, first place. They got a lot of size, a lot of depth, can shoot the ball. I mean, I feel like you look at the two divisions going in as we start divisional play, you feel like they were probably the best team in our division. So it was again, a gritty win for our guys to be able to come back. Again, like I said, it would have been one thing. We had a 7-point lead. I think when he got hurt and you just kind of hang on and win, that's one thing. But to have the lead disappear and they take it from you, and then for us to come back, I thought was obviously something you can be really proud of as a team. And these guys aren't going to go away. Like we've talked about, hey, it hasn't become impossible. It's just gotten a lot harder. You know what I mean? And we got to become. We were not a very good defensive team. I think we've become a pretty good defensive team as of late. Now we have to become a great defensive team if we want to continue to win. So, I mean, we just our margin of error is really changed slightly, and we just got to do, we got to be great on the defensive end. We got to take care of the ball, limit possessions probably at times, make sure we're taking quality shots. And if we do that, our guys, we still have enough confidence in our guys that some good things can happen for us.
Kind of touched on it a little bit ago, a nice win on Saturday. And, you had one day to practice, and everybody was still kind of reeling from Craig's injury and have to come back. And I guess maybe fortunately Northeastern State has struggled. They've had some season-ending injuries. But that being said, you came out, hit some early shots, got off to the quick 12-0 lead. I think that's probably very important for this team.
Yeah, and I think it was real important. I'm sure everybody in the back of their mind, how's it going to go? How's it going to be without Craig? Is there some confidence swaying a little bit? And we came out, I think we hit our first 4 shots or something like that. Got off to a 12-0 start, 25-3, I believe, and that really relaxed everybody, and we were able to go on from there. So probably couldn't have, unfortunately for them, they've had some issues with their team as far as personnel being gone for a few different reasons. Yeah. So we probably played the team we needed to play, and then we got off to the start we needed to get off to. And hopefully that was a confidence builder for our guys as we go forward here this week. I mean, I think now every game we play is going to be a challenge, but I think if we play, well and play smart and play hard, we're going to have our opportunities.
Tigers have their final non-conference game on Thursday. South Dakota Mines, the Hard Rockers, will be in Hays to take on Fort Hays State. And then a very good Pittsburgh State team who's tied for the MIAA lead will be in town Saturday afternoon. We'll talk about that and more when we return. Tiger Talk brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hays. And we're back with our final segment of the Tiger Talk right after this.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet-grade customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
And welcome back. It's our final segment on Tiger Talk, presented by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine in Hays. They've got a lot of great appetizers and lunch item specials as well, so check them out. Locally owned and operated. Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, where the fire's always burning. Tigers with their final non-conference game on Thursday, and then back to MIAA play Saturday with Pittsburgh State. Before we get into that, the concerns, and you've touched on it, obviously your style is going to have to change a little bit with Craig out of there, and I would think turnovers is the big one. He handles the ball so much, and you were, I think, 5th in the country with fewest turnovers, and then Saturday against primarily his own, you had 20 of them. That obviously has to be a concern from this point on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, obviously Craig's our leading scorer. He leads us in assists. I mean, there's just a lot of things that we're going to miss that not having him, but I think the thing is, again, in transition, we try to get out fast on misses and turnovers. Craig had the ball in his hands. Anytime we got late in the clock to make a play, a high ball screen, things like that, late in the clock, Craig had the ball in his hands. So now he's not going to have, we don't have him to have the ball, and we don't really have another, I would say on our team, a true point guard. So I think the biggest thing that concerning is, can we take care of the ball? And, we shot 60% against their zone and had 77 points. But we had 20 turnovers. There's 20 times we couldn't get a shot off, probably led to some easy baskets for them. So, I mean, that's going to be the biggest hurdle we have to overcome is taking care of the ball and not turning it over to a level that you just can't win.
How big of an adjustment will it be for Choki Moyakobu? Got his first career start, and he's, I guess, going to be the point guard here, at least fill in for a good chunk of it. He's shooting well, and he had another good game offensively for you on Saturday, but how much will his role and maybe his style of play change now with him kind of being the point guard now?
Well, I mean, it doesn't need to change that much. I think obviously the responsibility changes much, but he doesn't need to try to do too much off the bounce. He doesn't need to think now I need to be Craig and try to take 4 and 5 dribbles and make a lot of plays for other people. I think where it's going to affect him is finding ways to get him shots. He can really shoot the basketball. I think he's shooting 50% or something for the year from 3 or close to it, and now he doesn't have that guy out there to create those easy shots for him. We just got to find a way to maneuver and get him shots other ways. But like I told everyone, no one needs to. We're not going to replace Craig. No one's going to replace Craig. And if they try, we're going to go backwards. What you need to do is find your strengths and do them even better. You know what I mean? And that's what we're focusing on. And one thing he can do is really shoot the ball. He has the potential to be a really good defensive player. So at times he has the potential to guard better on the defensive end at the point guard position than probably Craig could. So he can make us better there and things like that. And everybody just needs, again, play to their strengths, avoid their weaknesses, and just get better at what they do.
All right. South Dakota Mines on Thursday, a team that's going to be in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference next year, still playing an independent schedule. And record doesn't always show it. It's kind of hard to tell with everybody they play and when they have to play them, but came in last year and put up a pretty good fight. Certainly won't be a pushover on Thursday.
Oh, not at all. I mean, they're a good team. If you look at their schedule, they've had probably, they've played Midwestern State twice, Tarleton State once. Most of those are on the road. Augustana, when you're an independent team, you're just trying to fill teams. They've already played Kearney one time. So, I mean, their record, they probably might have arguably played one of the hardest schedules in the country. They're a well-coached team. I mean, they come down and take care of the ball, play defense. So it'll be one of our harder non-conference games we've had, even with when Craig was healthy. And then Pitt State right now is playing really well. They're tied for first. They just beat Washburn by 42. They're a really big team. They're big up front. And then what's really going to give us problems, their 2s and 3s are both 6'5" and 6'6", and those are their main scores. So this will be a challenging week for us. But we've won 3 in a row, and hopefully we can keep building.
All right, sounds good. Mark, as always, we appreciate the time. Have a good week of practice, and we'll see you Thursday night at the Coliseum.
All right, thank you.
That is head coach Mark Johnson. Again, the Tiger men and women play South Dakota School of Mines on Thursday, 5:30 for the ladies, 7:30 for the men. And then Saturday afternoon, Pittsburgh State comes to town. Big women's matchup with the tip at 2. And then, of course, the men's game against the first-place Gorillas gets underway at 4 o'clock. You can hear all of those games, of course, on Tiger Radio Mix 103. It's going to wrap up the program. Certainly hope you enjoyed it. It's brought to you once again by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, Golden Bell Bank of Hayes and Ellis, G&L Tire and Automotive, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for Men and Women, James Motor Company, BTI, and Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. For coaches Tony Hobson and Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Welbrock. So long on Tiger Talk.
It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Eagle Communications.